Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Competitive Speed Series. We are here for the Monaco Grand Prix. No, it's not. I can't do it. It's already been released. It's Monza. It is the Italian, the Circuit of Speed, or the Festival of Speed, whatever you want to call it. Ollie, I'm going to hand over to you because you're always better at talking about the circuits than I am. But yeah, what a way to go into this mystery round.
Yeah, the cauldron of speed, I think they call it, Gareth, here at Monza. You know, you hark back to the old days, the old banked corners. Unfortunately, we don't have the like of those anymore, but nonetheless, it is still a fantastic circuit. Very quick, minimal corners. DRS is going to be key at this circuit, and who's going to be bravest on the brakes coming into some of these corners we have here in the home of racing, you could say, Gareth, in Monza in Italy. I know, obviously, you've got plenty of other great circuits in Italy, but this is what everyone thinks about when it comes to Italy and F1, I think.
Definitely Monza. I mean, it's so quick. Obviously, we've had the bad stuff about it in real life recently. Obviously, with I say recently, it's going back a few years now. Qualifying where people try and get that slipstream. We're not going to have that tonight because the cars are ghosted, thankfully. But it still proves that point. We definitely have some crazy overtaking opportunities, but also, going into turn one, you can mess it up massively, can't you?
Yeah, you obviously making a mistake coming into turn one. I mean, you go straight on. Yeah, you can still get through, but it's going to cause you a hell of a lot of trouble. You know, we've seen plenty of guys make mistakes, try and make a move stick, and it's not worked around the outside, and then the gravel trap, and it causes a whole host of problems, doesn't it? So the guys have to, work hard this evening. It's not an easy Grand Prix. It's non-stop. Yes, they've got breaks at times along the two or three straights we've got at this circuit, but it's hard and you mess up stuff sometimes at the circuit. And like I said, turn one, the main overtaking opportunity, as well as turn. Oh, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. Heavy braking zones, so you have to be careful on locking up and ruining the tyres early doors in this race. But Gav, we've seen them enough this season. They're pros. They know what they're doing, I think.
They know more than me, possibly a little bit more than you as well. But let's have a look at the standings, because it's 1 point between BRT and Novus, and that is really quite key. It looks like Shazoo and TTM have fallen a wayside a little bit. They're about 70 points behind, which is not ideal at all. But yeah, just to confirm, this is another Italian Grand Prix. It's Monza for these guys to battle it out tonight as well. And something to mention, there is no CRE anymore. They've got 190 points on the board. However, they have had some issues over the last couple of weeks, and it's cost them dear time because they're gone, and FRT have gone in front of them in the standings. AMS and FGE will be looking to displace them in that 6th place as well, but it will be EVR coming in replace of them. Is a CRE team now departed. But yeah, the top 4, I mean, it's still possible for Shazoo and TTM to catch back up with BRT and Novus with 3 rounds remaining. But the reigning champions, TTM, must be really kicking themselves for not being in that position now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last week, didn't we, Gareth? TTM, they had one driver up the top, and then I think it was Detol racing for them last week, but wasn't near. And I think he retired from the race while Neil was obviously just on 12th in the standings at the moment. Regard to qualifying here, but he was up there. But again, one car only up there is not going to help. And we saw how well Nuvas did last week, even with everything that happened last week at Las Vegas. Managed to bring it back, and that's helped them massively and brought them into contention to win the title. A point behind BRT now. They'll be kicking themselves as well, not getting enough points last week with penalties. So it's all heating up. And TTM Shazoo, is it too late? Yes, you'd argue, Gareth, but they need the races to go their way. You need a bad bad races by NVR and BRT for them to really have any chance with 3 races remaining, including this one. Obviously, it's Monza this week, and then we're off to Hungary next week, and then Japan to finish off the season here in CSS.
Yeah, so let's head on to track, and I've just seen Tech absolutely, unfortunately for
Yep.
him, in the Verante Prima, the first Verante, I suppose you could call it, really lock up into turn 1, costing him massively. And BRT Justin has just done it at the exit of the second Lesmo as well. So BRT finding themselves a little bit under pressure at this point in time, which is not ideal for them at all. They wouldn't. But qualifying, it's early doors. It's nothing to be too much of a worried about, I don't think. Let's go on board with Blunty R9, who is currently 9th place down well, no time set, but he's into Sector 2 now. Let's see what he can do as he holds through the second Verante here in Monza.
Yeah, as Elite goes quickest, the 19.2 for Shazoo Racing, and then Treat jumps up into take P1 with a 19 flat there. So I can imagine we'll be getting into the 18s this evening, Gareth, with how quick the times are already in this session, and Blunty making mistakes coming through Ascari there. There we go, Ailsin already in an 18.8 already. So, but he's got a little bit of work to do. He was quickest in the first sector there, but I think his time might drop back. It comes into the final corner of this track, just about keeps it on circuit, drifts over the white line there, head down towards the line, and we'll see him jump up to 8 to the 120.123 by the Ferrari man, driving for XPG this evening. But yeah, a little bit of work to do for Blunty in this session, Gareth.
Yeah, just a little bit as yeah, not ideal for him. Let's see who else could be on a lap time. Agonised, I think, is coming down. Sirigalio now into Ascari. Not 8, 9, and 10. A little bit over, too much over the curbs. A little bit curb happy. I think he might actually abort this lap. But let's see how he goes as he heads through into Parabolica. As he goes past the ghost car of the Mercedes of the Treat, I think there. As typical, I think, is on a lap time just behind as well. We'll have to see how the FRT man handles the pressure through that. No, I was wrong. Agonize is going to set a lap time, and it's a pretty decent lap time to go with it as well, an 18.888.
Yeah, great time by Agonize, jumping into the top 3 there. His teammate in Silo's not too far back either, so that'll be give them a bit of confidence in this in the early echelons of this qualifying session. But again, long way to go. 12:40 left of the session, but man of the moment of last week, Gareth Gabor, currently in P1 with a 118.7 as he flies around Ascari here. Looks like he's on a second flying lap here as he comes down the back straight. One of 3 straights really we've got at the circuit, along with the main one, and then coming into Ascari. But around Parabolic he goes, keeps the car inside the white line. This doesn't want to drift it too wide, but it looks like he's put into the pit. So I'll stop talking, Gareth, because just gone straight in the pit to find someone else to try and see if they're on a lap time.
Tech is just about to start a lap time, so he obviously bailed out of the first one, along with his teammate BRT Justin, who invalidated. So let's see how he handles the first Verante, the Verante del Ritifiglio, as I will get these words right. I'm not that Italian, so I can't get these pronunciations right just there. But yeah, through he goes to the Curva Grande, as at the moment it's looking relatively good for the BRT man.
Yes, sorry, I'm just trying to say, I was just keeping an eye on Ogween, Gareth, last week's race winner, who isn't too far up the road from Tech here as he flies through, and that's unfortunately an invalidation for Tech. Brutal, and you have to go round once more, and that's the second time he tried that, Gareth, so he's wasting a little bit of time here, which is not ideal with how quickly the session feels like it's going already. But back to Ogween, down in, well, obviously currently 20th, he had to do a lap time. Let's see where last week's race winner for Team Suzuki can put himself. His teammate is up in 8th, the 19.2. We'll see where Ogween pops out. Now head down towards the line. That's him across the line in 4th place with 18.906, so just ahead of his teammate, and well, just shy of 2 tenths behind our current pole man in Gabor.
BRT Justin as well invalidates, and that's not ideal for him, as he would have wanted to at least set a lap time at this stage. It's now 10 minutes in, and it's as problematic for some of these guys because, you know, 5-6 drivers yet to set a lap time. Here comes XPG Flame, though, across the line into 6th provisionally. Agonisingly close to the treat in 5th there. He probably would have wanted a little bit more. Is Elite Risk on a lap time? He's Drakar's getting out of the way. It's slightly up on his lap time. So let's see how the other Shazoo driver handles the pressure. Is he coming into the Lesmo corners at the moment?
Yeah, just a 10th up, well, sorry, down on his first sector time here as he comes down the hill. DRS wide open. Another overtaking opportunity. Difficult to make moves through here. We have seen drivers do well, but you've got to stick to the back of the driver ahead through the Lesmos to try and really get a good run coming down the hill and make a move into a sky, which is difficult enough. Well, the corner difficult enough to do on your own, let alone side by side. But down he goes, big braking zone here, coming down his long right hand. The gravel's not as precarious as it used to be as he comes into the pits. Not enjoying that lap, it looked like, and he'll put a new set of tyres on and go again, it looks like, Gareth.
Yeah, we're going to have a see through all this. Let's see what FRT Typical can do. He's yet to set a lap time, one of 5 drivers to do so. BRT, the BRT team have yet to set a lap time. That's how crucial it is getting for BRT. 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. But Typical around the Parabolica, hugging that pit lane entrance line there, up into 9th. There's a 19.116.
Yeah, it's getting him in on the board, isn't it, Gareth? You know, and you'll be happy with that. And it shows how close Monza is. You look at the times. There's barely between Typical and Blunty, there's 0.02 of a second. So how close some of these drivers are. Oh no, sorry. There's a little bit more between and there's 9,000 between Typical and VK. So it's so close in the standings at the moment, and to be expected to run a circuit that, you know, there's only just over 10 corners at the circuit, so I'm not surprised with how close is everyone, you know, trying to get the most speed as Silo takes pole position off Gabor.
I believe Silo, this could be the AMS driver who set the world alight, and now Gabor responds immediately. Gabor's not hanging around. He knows how quick he is over one lap, and he's 1.5 tenths quicker than Silo. And that Silo was on top for very, very short period of time. Let's see what the BRT drivers can do. Both of them yet to set a lap time, and both of them are the only ones not to set a lap time in this session so far. 7 minutes remaining. They're running out of tyres.
Yeah, they are. And you know, I appreciate there's ghosting in this qualifying session, guys, but seeing other cars on circuit is a bit distracting, especially if they're right in front of you as well. I've got some ball with Tech Brutal as he just about stays on the circuit this time around, but he's got 2 cars ahead of him, McLaren and I think that it could be Silo and Gabor actually. They get out of the way for him, but again, it's still a small distraction as he comes into Ascari, tops a curb, just about stays on the right, hops over the left, make sure you don't drift too wide on exit and heading down the straight once again towards the final corner of the lap here. Justin not too far behind either. Justin Purple in the middle sector as well, so keep an eye on these BRT drivers, guys, because it could light up the timing screens now.
Let's see what Tech can do. He's flying down now, not as huggy to that white line as other people. He's in 3rd. What does BRT Justin do? He's dropped off a little bit, I think. He says he made a mistake through some of it because he's a lot further back from Tech than I imagined. I must be making things up because here he is. He's up into 8th place, but not up where we usually see him.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that lap, and I think, like you said, he was looking quick and maybe made a mistake into the entry for the Parabolica there, or maybe through Ascari. I wasn't on board with him on that section of the track, but you know, it's again still early. There's time for another lap if he needs it. It wouldn't surprise me if both him and Tech go out again in this session. Slow on this up, obviously. Don't want to move through those tyres, but There's still plenty of other drivers. We've got a full grid this evening of drivers. We'll see whether anyone can take top spot off Gabor. 18.5 at the moment. Can anyone get into the 18.4s potentially? They are looking quick. They are looking rapid, Gareth. I wouldn't surprise you if they do.
Flame making a little mistake at the second Lesmos. Oh, in between the Lesmos, I should say, as he has cost himself massively. And I think he may have done it at Parabolica as well, just seeing a Ferrari in the background going a little bit deep. Here comes Elite Risk Zone, needs to get himself out of 18th place in his qualifying, and he has done quite emphatically there, up into third, and Shazoo have 2 drivers in the top 10, and Ogween is just coming around the final corner now. He's up on his lap time as well. Alcin takes pole position with an 18.4 for the provisional place, and Ogween throws himself into third with a 18.6. It's not over yet.
Absolutely not. I was expecting them into the 18.4s, and Ilsen takes that title first in this qualifying session. Can anyone top him here? 4 minutes 30 left of this qualifying session. What if you guys in the pits? Pardon?
Oh, sorry. What? I just saw. Never mind. Go for it. Go for it.
No, it's okay. No, I thought something dramatic happened. I didn't want to interrupt you, Gareth.
No.
Where was I? I've lost my train of thought now. But obviously, with looking at standings, Gareth, with obviously Shazoo and TTM. Obviously, Ailson's currently pole. Nail's got a little bit of work to do, but Shazoo both in 3rd and 5th. They're doing the right things at the moment, Shazoo, but TTM need a little bit of work, and Nail down in 12th isn't what the team needs right now. But he's on a lap at the moment. He's quicker coming into the first sector at least.
Yeah, let's. I'm not sure. Maybe VK20 is on a lap time, so at Parabolica we'll have to see what they can do through that. He's going pretty full on through it, so I'm guessing he's gonna dive into the pit at the last moment. FRT typical, are you gonna dive into the pit at the last moment as well? You are indeed, as the Red Bull driver drops in. And Aston Martin could be on a lap time. That could very well be Liam Hardman. He probably doesn't want to be stuck plumb last at the moment. Is Aston Martin at that bottom end of the table? Can Liam Hardman put anything on the board? He has put himself up at 1 position above AMS Partak for the time being. Willow in 11th place has thrown himself into the pits as MVR Gabble on a lap time. He's slightly up on his time. I don't think it's enough to displace the TTM man at the time being, and I think there's a little mistake through Parabolica, and I could see he's probably not going to be too happy with that, but it's enough to claim pole provisionally here. Gabble sets the marker.
Yeah, I think that could be him over and done with the session. I gather 18.404 for Gabor. I think, was he opposed to last week, or was it Ogwin? I can't remember the top of my head. It could have been Gabor. Maybe it was Quantum. What was one of the two? But yeah, I mean, he's been near the top the last couple of races, hasn't he? And hence why we've seen NVR do so well in the last couple of races and claw their way back towards BIT in the standings. But there could be the qualifying session for Gabor. Can anyone top him? Ailson, the man who's just leaving the pits now his close challenger in this qualifying session. Obviously, we've got plenty of drivers out on circuit. So we're going to see plenty of flying laps here. And who will take pole with 1 minute 47 left of this session?
We will wait and see for that one. FRT Silo, though, is just heading into the Parabolica. He had pole provisionally snatched away from him early doors from Gabble. And Gabble and Alcin have had that ever since. Everyone now, other than Liam Hardman, out on track. And let's see what the FRT man can do as he hurtles all his way down the start-finish straight. The long start-finish straight here in Monza. Braking hard into turn 1. Definitely riding the curb and getting a little bit of air there, and it possibly cost him a bit of time as he heads into the Curva Grande.
Yeah, I tried to rotate the car in and maybe turn in slightly too early, guys. You can see the car hopping over the curb. But into turn 4, he goes laying the brakes, and he is quicker than his current lap time going into sector 1. Just over the curb on the left side, around the double right hand here, trying to squeeze as hard as he can to the inside line there. Around the second Lesmo here, dips onto the curb and then flat out down the hill towards Ascari, as Gabor has retired from the session. That will be him over and done with. Can Silo improve on the lap time? It's around 2.5 tenths he's got to get to try and take pole off Gabor here. 30 seconds remaining of the session. Down the back straight he goes. On the right side of the circuit, he'll be drifting over to the left here to get into the perfect position for the braking zone of Parabraga. Late on the brakes, just after the 50-meter board. Plugging the inside, drifting ever so wide. Not as wide as other drivers have done. Sitting on the inside of the corner. Head down, flat out towards the line. And he takes pole with a 1:18.366. Great lap time.
Definitely a great lap time. His teammate, however, agonised, has not done a great lap time. He is out. He has invalidated and out of this session now. Here comes Ollie, not the commentator, the driver in the Aston Martin, and across the line, throws himself into 7th place. Ollie, well done for you. Great lap time there. Tech, I think, on a lap time as he throws himself 4th place. Who else can we go on board with as it is all kicking down? I suppose, really, at this point, we need to go on board with TTM, Alcin, as they come round the Parabolica now, down the start-finish straight. And he's not hugging his line as much as he would have wanted to. And it's not better than either of the two drivers ahead of him. Ogween has invalidated. Risks has invalidated. Treat hasn't invalidated. And he's just behind it. Is it going to be enough? No, the back end steps out for the Mercedes man. And I don't think that's going to be any quicker than he would have set before. Is there anyone else to set lap times? I'm not too sure. XPG Flame has invalidated. Typicals across the line and throws himself into 5th place. I think, other than Blunty coming across the line, who has crashed, XPG Flame has invalidated. That is qualifying over and done with.
Yeah, Nail jumping up to 6th place late on in that session as well, Gareth. Quantum having a horrid session. Was coming around the final corner. He was about 3 tenths up on his lap time. Went over the curb too much and the back end stepped out, Gareth, and it cost him 3 tenths and was slower on the lap time. So he'll be kicking himself down in 14th, as will Justin, while their teammates are near the top. But great job by TTM, Nail, and in 6th, and Ailson in 3rd. So great job by those two. And the FRT boys as well, 5th and 9th, not bad from them, but again, it's Silo who takes the plaudits tonight, Gareth, with a great qualifying lap. They into the 18.3s, or no one else anywhere near.
Yeah, let's. I suppose before we do, we'll wait for the final orders to come up on screen. If they will this week, we know we've had issues with that in the past. It has come up. That is great. It is Silo on pole position with Gabor in 2nd place, Alcin in 3rd, 4th going to Tech with Typical in 5th place, 6th to Nail, Shazoo Ogween in 7th place, our last week's winner. And his teammate going alongside him in elite risks there. The treat in 9th and 10th to Willow. Ollie throwing himself in 11th place. AMS Knight in 12th. Agonised in 13th. 14th to Quantum. Justin in 15th. He won't be happy with that. XPG Flame in 16th. 17th to VK. Blunty in 18th. 19th to Liam Hardman. And Partic is at the bottom end of the table, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the standings one last time. Well, I say one last time. Another time, I suppose. With this BRT, well, up there in 1st place by a point, but with that qualifying session, I'm not sure which team would be happier, because Quantum down in 14th and Gabor in 2nd, with Tech in 4th and BRT Justin in 15th. It's a bit like the real life Red Bull team at the moment.
Yeah, it's not far off, is it? I mean, you'd argue that MVR are better just because there's 2 places ahead, with Gabor near the top and Tech 2 places back. So, but again, there's a long run down to turn 1. Silo's going to be in a bit of bother. Well, unless he gets a great start. Luckily, and obviously no DRS to start the race, so he'll have that on his side. But it will be a bit of a train, I think, on the first couple of laps again, until that DRS is enabled in this session, as all the guys retiring early for us to get this race underway. Hopefully not in a short moment, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether TTM and Shazoo do something try something different this evening, to try and throw any chance they have in the title this evening. And Shazoo are in a great place this evening, third and fifth starting. So keep an eye on them in this race.
Yeah, and I think this is a race definitely for them to claw back some of those points. And realistically, it's only one of those teams that can get themselves back into that championship fight, I think. And as you quite rightly mentioned, after this mystery Grand Prix, which did end up being Monza, we've got 2 more rounds, which is Hungary and Japan, where there's still a lot of points on offer, but I don't think it's going to be for much at the present moment in time. Yeah, so there we have it. Qualifying done and dusted. Just to say again, it is Silo that is on pole, and I believe he was the race victor back in whatever race it was. I believe it was like your 5th race. Well, I want to say Zandvoort or something like that.
Could be. I know he was up there doing Qatar, but of course he was racing for a different team then.
Yes, yeah, it could have been that race he won as well. Actually, now I come to think of it, but qualifying done, dusted. What do you think on a race style? Obviously, a little bit more problematic this time because of the DRS trains we are going to get here.
It's inevitable, isn't it? With how this track is laid out at times, but plenty of overtaking opportunities. So hopefully it'll be it will be non-stop. I can imagine. Obviously, turn 1, turn 4, as well as down into Ascari as well. I can't see many moves being made into the parabolic, just because obviously you got the next straight afterwards, unless it's obviously near the end of the race and they're trying for track position. So it's going to be non-stop. We have seen some dramatic incidents here as well. So safety cars aren't to miss either in this Grand Prix. So a couple of things that could really spice up this race, Gareth.
Definitely, plenty of things to spice up this race. And while we've had it a few times in this season, I think Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, the Jeddah Corniche circuit, Shazoo Boberts came through the field a little bit and then ended up getting issues, and that's cost, not to pick on him, but that's cost a little bit of time, a little bit of points, sorry, for Shazoo. TTM have had some terrible races. It hasn't helped that, well, you would have thought BRT and Novus would have gone away further, especially with the qualifying performances that they've done, but then they've got themselves in incidents where things have managed to get back in through some of the other drivers. It's setting up to be an absolute incredible finale in Japan in 3 weeks' time. But yeah, there's an awful lot of unanswered questions. But I suppose, chat, let us know who you think is going to take victory tonight. And Ollie, I'm going to give you the question early. Who's going to take victory?
Good question. Well, last week I predicted one of the McLaren drivers NVR drivers, sorry, in Gabor or Quantum. This time around, do I go with a Pulsar? He was a great lap from Silo. A lot of, like I said, even in this race, there's a lot of unanswered questions. Do you know? I'm going to go for Ogwin again, on the pure fact that I'd like the title race to go even further than it is already, and if 3 teams can be involved, even better. But Ailse is looking good as well. I'm not sure. No, I'm going to go Ogwin. Back-to-back wins for Shazoo, I think, this evening.
Yeah, I think that would be great for definitely great for Shazoo, and I think Boberts will be loving the fact that you've mentioned that to come through like that as well. And you know what, we've had out of 7 rounds, we've had 6 different winners. Can we get, I don't know, can the new boys EVE? Have I got that right? EVR, I think, actually. It is EVR. I was right the second time of asking there. But yeah, maybe EVR out of nowhere in the Alpine team. Ollie, maybe not you, but the other Ollie on the track can It takes me back to the days when you had to retire on the circuit when you're doing when you're doing commentary, and we were commentating over ourselves at one time.
Yes.
That was awkward. Anyway, yeah, I reckon it's going to be. I don't know. My heart says it's going to be new blood, different team winning. That would be great. But Silo taking pole with FRT, that is a statement of intent, not only for FRT to sign Silo, who's been absolutely incredible whenever he has raced, but also for Silo himself.
Yeah, I mean, to be signed by a team like them, that's always gonna help. And I think it shows a bit of faith in him. He was great with AMS, and to be bumped up now to FRT, I mean, that's gonna. I'm sure he appreciates that, and he's showing what he's worth, Gareth. Puts it on pole by almost half a tenth this evening. So, well, no, it's just shy of a tenth, I think. But the only man into the 0.3s, while everyone else was 18.4. So shows intent. Whether he can hold the lead is going to be another question. And that run down to turn one is going to be difficult. He's got a great start. Unfortunately, his teammate isn't too near him as playing a rear gunner. So do a solo for a bit, and hopefully Agonize can get a little bit closer to Silo in the early echelons of the race to try and help him out at the front.
Yeah, and for the BRT and the Novus team with their drivers towards the back of the grid in this one, they're not going to have that rear gunner like Shazoo or TTM have at the moment, and that might become crucial come the end of the race. Everyone, if you can get a chance to vote in that poll, I'll get my teeth back in. Can FRT convert pole to their first win this season? It's a big ask from Silo. But it's a very valid question, isn't it? And we've already discussed it. But it's it's going to be interesting if that is the case, and that will be 8 different winners in 9 rounds, and that is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. I mean, Gareth, well, now I've got a bit of a Monza quiz question for you. I do like to plug these in from time to time. So Monza was the 3rd purpose-built track ever made. Can you name the other 2 that were before Monza? And chat, you can play along as well, but do not cheat.
Yeah.
I know everyone likes to be right, but no cheating from the chat, please.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I believe it's going to be something crazy like what was.
Do you want a clue?
Yeah.
So one's in the UK and one is in America.
There's one Brands Hatch.
That is incorrect, Gareth.
Oh, Jesus. America.
Think older.
I'll think older. Snetterton.
No. It's the wrong game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. America track. I haven't got a clue either. It can't be Circuit of the Americas, surely. I'm thinking of an America one, but I can't. When it's it, but you just don't know. The name isn't coming out. Is it the one with the corkscrew? Like halfway through.
Laguna Seca. No, it's not.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
It's not that one. So the answers are, for those who have guessed, it is Brooklands in the UK. Another old banked circuit. Unfortunately, no longer around. And Indianapolis is the other one in the US.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Shouldn't, but it does. This is going to be an interesting one. It is dry, which is good. But it's just popped up that MS Partick is spectating, so we may have to have a restart to this lobby. We'll wait and see for certain through this. I'm just going to wait for what Ace comes up with for that. But while that happens, I tell you what, let's have a quick word from one of our sponsors. Right, let's have a quick look at the standings, so we can just go over the importance of this one. Just again, because BRT and Novus, 1 point separating them. It's 64 points between TTM and Team Shazoo to BRT, which can be cleared out if one of those drivers has a really good session, or one of those drivers, sorry, one of those teams. So if TTM or Team Shazoo get a first and second or a first and third, they're right back in it.
Yeah, I know we've seen how quickly the table has changed over the season. You know, at the start it was TTM and Shazoo, and how BRT have been up there, but they've last couple of years have really clawed it back, and MVR out of nowhere really have brought it back into question their chance in the title. So it's definitely something that we can that can change in an instant. And it's if we're going to leave look at those standings. Can TTM or Shazoo? Are we going?
I don't know. So let's head over to the racetrack and see if we are. No, everyone is crashing.
Everyone is crashing.
So
I just panicking there for a second.
Oh my god, it is. It's this is worse than the 1998 Spa Grand Prix. Wow.
Looks. It reminds me of for those. Was it Liuzzi going sideways across the grass at turn one and taking out about 3 drivers? I can't remember what year that was.
Was it in a BRT?
HRT.
HRT, that was it, yeah.
Yeah, I think it must have been early 2010s, I think. But yeah, going across there, I think it'd been raining the night before, and the sleds along the grass and took out. I think Nico Rosberg was one of the drivers he took out, which wasn't ideal for him. But yeah, those were the days. And you had some really, really bad drivers in F1 somehow. I mean, you still have them now, but there were some proper bad drivers back then, I think.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's tell you what. Let's have a look at the calendar again. Let's waffle a little bit more for our adoring fans out there. Obviously, we are round 10 now in the Mystery Grand Prix. We could have 9 different. I can't remember which way around. Anyway, we have multiple different team race victors this season, and with 3 rounds remaining, including tonight, anything is possible. Yeah, Hungary is next, and obviously we can't really talk too much about what's going to happen because momentum does a lot, even in sim racing world. Momentum does an awful lot for drivers' confidences, and you know, if BRT has a massive, horrendous race tonight, or the same to a Novus, this could cost. It could cost them the title.
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you look at next week, Hungary, difficult circuit to overtake. Japan, it's the same. You know, maybe you'd argue maybe there's a little bit more to do there, but you know, this race could be make or break for some of these drivers. You know, we've seen some big collisions at the circuit, high speed here. Well, you don't get the same speeds at Hungary and Japan. So if they're gonna make a mistake, well, they're gonna capitalize. It's gonna be here. They don't want to. You know, Hungary can be a bit of a procession sometimes with limited overtaking opportunities. Japan can sometimes be the same. So if they're going to make some moves, it's going to be tonight. Again, it's just trying to keep that calm circuit and, you know, not making mistakes as we've seen in the past from some drivers, you know, hitting the curve at high speeds and them spinning off into the gravel trap, and it's game over for them. So hopefully we get all 20 finishing, but at times, Gareth, it doesn't always end like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is it's problematic for some of them, but anyway, yeah, I suppose what we should do actually is maybe do a rundown, redo the rundown of the qualifying order, if I can find the image that it was there. So it is Silo on pole for the FRT team with NVR Gabor in second place. Silo with a 118.366 and Gabble with a 118.404. Then it was TTM Alcin, Tech, FRT Typical, Nail, Shazoo Ogween, Elite, The Treat, and Willow rounding out the top 10, with Ollie, AMS, Knight, Agonized, Quantum, BRT Justin, XPG Flame, VK, Blunty, Liam Hardman, and AMS Partick rounding out the rest of the drivers. And well, with that, that being said and done, we will discuss this point once more, and that's BRT and Novus, 1 point separating them. Novus in second and 14th, and Tech fourth, or BRT, sorry, 4th and 15th. And that is crucial. The Tech and Gabble, the two front runners of their teams, don't have their rear gunners for this race.
And that could be crucial. It could be, and obviously they could worm their way through, but you'd think they may be doing a different strategy, try not to fall over their teammate here. How and again, typically I could change that completely. We don't know just yet, but not having someone there to help you out is going to be crucial. And we've seen TTM and Shazoo have got close drivers, but again, they're not right next to them either. They've got to do some work as well. So it's not plain sailing for those teams either. In the earlier part of the race, and it could be we have someone from one of the other teams fly on through and take the win this evening. We just don't know. We really don't know. But it'd be crucial, like I said, to see if Silo can get a good launch for the line and try and maintain that lead for as long as he can. But again, it's going to be difficult with the long straights once the TRS is open as well. It won't be easy for him.
Now, just to quickly run through the teams one more time for everyone, it's FRT in the V-Carb, MVR in the McLaren, TTM in the Williams, Shazoo in the Red Bull, FG in the Mercedes, BRT in the Sauber, TIE in the Aston Martin, XPG in the Ferrari, EVR have replaced CRE in the Alpine, and AMS in the Haas. Let us know, continue letting us know in the chat who you think is going to take victories tonight, how it's going to be, what your thoughts are on this one. It'll be great to hear from you out there. Something that we've not yet touched upon, and it's kind of crucial before the race start, is it's not always best being in pole or second going down into turn one.
Yeah, we've spoken a bit about how Sila's going to have a bit of trouble coming down to turn one, but the slipstream from the rest of drivers could be what makes or breaks this first turn. It could be we could see it 2-3 abreast coming into turn one, and turn two, and even coming around turn three here. So there's a lot of things the driver's got to think about on this start. And as always, I'm glad I'm in the comments box, Gareth, with yourself, and not sat on that grid with another 20 roaring cars right behind me. I'd hate to be inside a position right now. I really would.
The extent of his ability, that is terrible for the start of this Grand Prix. Horrendous. But Gabble leads the way, and not ideal through all that. But TTM have made positions. It's a split grid at the moment with medium and hard compound of tyres. But yeah, Ollie, I'm hoping my mic is back up, but I'm not 100%. I'm muted on the main screen as well, which is really awkward. But yeah, I'm hoping the audio came through halfway through that, Ollie, or otherwise there would be problems.
I'm sorry, I've not heard anything on at the moment, Gareth, but I'll let you continue.
FRT will be, a bit annoyed that Silo has lost the position into turn two. into turn two, and now in second place. He's not unable to get through there. There's been a few incidents because there's a big gap between 8th and 7th place. Ogween is holding station, but I think his teammate who was alongside him is now down into 10th place. There's lots of action going on, but just not where some drivers want it to be.
No, like I said, there's a bit of a gap forming behind Ogween now in 7th place. And they wanted to close the gap coming into our once we get into the DRS window. Obviously, how key it is to be quick at the circuit. But Silo not losing Gabor at all yet, but Ailsin not far behind as well as his teammate in 4th place. Tech down 1 place from wayside. Yellow flags is contact, it looks like, between Blunty and VK down in 19th and 20th. Those both drivers going slowly. Didn't see what happened there. But down the back straight we go. And could this be Silo's chance now coming into turn 1 to make the move and take the lead back of this Grand Prix?
Yeah, just having a look at more protagonists through this, which is Quantum and BRT, Justin, who are a little bit further down, but they've got a couple of positions. A VSC now, which I think has saved Gabor as they head down the start and finish straight for lap 3. As that is Blunty out of the Grand Prix. Out of the Grand Prix, and I'm not sure what's happened there. But and Liam Hardman flying into the pit lane, and I wonder if that's going to be a retiree for him, or is it just changing tyres or front wings? We'll have to wait and see. It is a set of mediums on for him, so possibly a 2-stop. Well, it has to be a 2-stop now for him.
Yeah, understandably. Didn't see what happened, but Blunty was in the wall at the exit of the Ascari complex, Gareth. So, well, whether it was contact with Liam there, hence why the front wing turns, I'm not sure, but still VSC on circuit, even though everyone's back out on track. So hopefully we'll get moving very quickly, but we'll see whether anyone can get a good jump on the safety car restart here and potentially make some moves up. And yeah, still going on. It's going a lot longer than expected. Classic. That's always the way, isn't it? But Silo, look how close he is, guys, at the back of Gabor coming round down the back straight here.
It is ridiculously close. I don't think Silo's going to do anything into the Parabolica. But in the background, you've got Tech having a sniff and nail as well. And TTM are in a really good position right now, being 3rd and 4th. But here comes Silo. This is the one we want. Well, we were expecting to be the one to watch. Down the start-finish straight he goes. He pulls to the outside line. So he has the... well, racing line into turn 1, and the position's done and dusted, and Gabor back down into his starting position as Silo retakes the lead of this Grand Prix, as that is the only move. But Agonized is slowly catching back up. The second train is slowly getting back in there.
Yeah, it is. Just on board Gabor there. Thought he was going to make another move coming into turn 4 there, but decides not to. But that second train is coming back into play now. Did open up a little bit with Ogween and Typical losing the back end slightly, but they've managed to claw their way back onto this train, the top 7, and then obviously Agonized 1.3 splitting 7th and 8th, and he's stringing Ollie along with him in 9th place. So these guys want to try and get their way back onto, because you've seen in the past these trains can ship themselves up the circuit, and you're stuck in no man's land at times. But we'll see what Agonized and Ollie can do in 8th and 9th, but Silo managed to bring a little bit of gap to 2nd place here. But again, that DRS enabled to coming through turn 1 could be a different story and a very different line by both drivers coming into the Parabolica there, Gareth.
Yeah, it's interesting, and we just got to go on board with possibly Nail as they come down the start-finish straight. Gabor might take the lead of this Grand Prix, but Nail's splitting the TTM as he's going into 4th place. As that is good for the BRT team. Well, it's better for the BRT team, because at the moment, Gabor, with leading this Grand Prix, is going to be, well, claiming more points. But obviously the tyre difference between them is very, very interesting. The front runners on BRT and MVR are using different tyre compounds.
Yeah, I mean, Gabor will want to be utilising the early echelons of this Grand Prix with on those medium tyres, as well Ailsin. Obviously needs to try and get by. Silo hasn't had opportunities to attack yet, but Tech making his way back up, getting past Nail there, back up to 4th for him. And unfortunately, his teammate nowhere near in the background. That's Quantum getting past Justin. It looks like some moves there, and something's happened on your screen. It looks like very close in this midfield battle, it looks like.
Nail has made an absolute hash of the Ascari chicane, and I thought Typical was going to snap him up then, but he didn't get the move done, and unfortunate, because it's given Nail a little bit more confidence and a breathing room, and it was one of those that I thought, oh my goodness, he's cost himself massively.
Yeah, it doesn't look well. He's lost the place to Typical, but he's still in the hunt, Gareth. You know, I say that though. He's got Ogwyn right on his gearbox and goes wide through turn 2 there, and Ogwyn, actually tap on the back by Ogwyn, trying to get around the outside here on his hard tyres. I don't know whether Nails has not got a quick setup on, but that's Ogwyn flying around the outside of turn 4. Sorry, turn 3, and into turn 4 they go. And that's Nailed down to 7th place now. TTM were looking pretty racy in 3rd and 4th, and now it's 3rd and 7th, Gareth.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what's happened, but maybe just the confidence for it, I'm not sure. But I've just re-looked at his entry into Ascari, and he was just not carrying any major speed through there, and it's cost him massively. Silo's managed to pick up a little bit of pace now. Alcin is all up and racy again, and the front three look like the cars to watch out for, as Willow picks up a 3-second time penalty along with Liam Hardman. He's who got 10 seconds for his pit lane infringement, as Alcin is all over the back of the hard runner of Silo. He needs to keep in this 2nd place to give himself the best chance of taking victory at the end of all this. Gabor, though, needs to break away, and here comes Alcin on Silo. He has just dispatched him with ease, and he is now into 2nd place in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, obviously utilising those medium tyres, was quick on the straight anyway, guys. I think regardless of the tyres, and flies on through up into 2nd. Now he's got Gabor as the next man on his hit list. Silo there was no point defending Gareth. He was a slow card on the pit straight there, and always fighting, allowing Tech to close a gap up to these guys. Well, Typical not far away either. Tech struggling through 4 and 5 there. Typical not being able to capitalise on that. Gone wide again at the exit of this first Lesmo. Tech struggling a little bit on these hard compound tyres, and he's got to be careful not to overdo them in the in the first part of the session. You obviously, as long as they can stay with the top 2 here, Gareth, you know, these 4 hard runners will be in good stead when it comes to the pit stop phase. But Silo, great line through Ascari, and he might be able to get past Ailsin before they even get to Parabolica, but it looks like he's lifting off ever so slightly. He doesn't want to make the move just yet. Adam, don't blame him with the DRS overtake opportunity coming down the main straight.
Another mistake at Ascari, and that was Typical, and then Ogwyn has now got past. Here comes Silo, though. This is the 3-way battle for the lead at the moment. Silo's on the weaker tyre compound, supposedly, but he can't find a way through, as Quantum and Justin battling, squabbling behind between the two of them. They're now 8th and 9th, respectively, as Agonised and Ollie battling away. And I think those two had contact at turn 2. At the river, and I think it's just cost him. It's cost both of those drivers some big points tonight. As we will go back up to the leaders, as Ogwyn now into 5th place. Shazoo driver just 2 places away from the other TTM. Unfortunately, his teammate Elite Risks is now down to 15th place. He must have damage. Nail, the comment in the chat saying Nail has damage. I can't see damage on that car. That looks. Unless that right end plate is damaged, I can't fully see. The Williams isn't easy to pick up on time. No, there's end plate there, so maybe it's one of those really weird orange damage, but light yellow damage, which costs time still. That looks like a complete front wing to me.
Could well be. It's difficult to tell on some of these on boards, but again, locking up into the final corner there keeps it on circuit, but. Again, struggling a little bit, 3.1 behind Typical in 6th now. And into turn 1 they go. No one be able to make any moves at the moment. I think Ailsin now. Obviously, he was P2 already. Both medium runners holding their own. Tyres obviously won't be alive forever, as Justin just got past Nail as well in 8th and 9th respectively, as Quantum, Gabor's teammate, clawing his way back up. Obviously these guys, Justin and Quantum, were further back, and again Nail and Justin fighting away. And look, Justin's made a mistake now, and that's Tree trying to get around the outside of Lesmer. That's not a usual place to make an overtake, and again can't make his way around. I think a mistake by Justin coming through 4 and 5, and Tree tried to capitalise on that. But again, up the front, there's Gabor down a second as well, Gareth.
Yeah, it's all happening everywhere, and I think, well, this is perfect for MVR, because there's a little gap now between Quantum and Nail, and that could be just what he needs to get away from BRT Justin. He's been stuck with Justin the whole race as Quantum, as Gabor now dropping down the order a little bit. That's Silo getting past before the DRS zone even opens, but now Gabor is going back at it. He's being boxed in, it looks like, by both drivers. It's side by side with Silo and Alcin. Silo now retakes the lead of this Grand Prix, and the medium compounder tyres starting to drop off a little bit.
Yeah, Silo put the car in the perfect place there, Gareth. You could see that Gabor was catching Ailsin, but Ailsin was on the inside of the circuit. Yeah, sorry, on the outside of the circuit, so he couldn't go anywhere. He was stuck, and again played that really well. And Silo takes the lead of the Grand Prix coming into turn 1 now. And yeah, I think Gabor just made a mistake coming out the final corner. Gareth, his back end stepped out, and that cost him the second down to third. So there's small mistakes costing him big time in this race. And now he's got Tech on his gearbox. Ogwin not far away either, with Typical on the back of this training. Again, Quantum in his own little race and trying to close the gap down. 3.3 splits, 6th and 7th at the moment. But this top 6 battle, Gareth, is really heating up now.
And a mistake from Tech as they go through Parabolica. And I don't think Ogwin is going to give this up. He's going through the inside of Parabolica. Sorry, it was Ascari that he made the mistake. And Ogwin does give the position up in the end. He was going for up the inside of Parabolica, but decided that it wasn't going to be enough. Through into turn 1 they go. And it's a little bit sketchy through here. Gabor and Alcin get past Silo. Silo's being tagged. He's ghosting a little bit as Ogwin and Typical side by side. Up the inside is through Curva Grande is Ogwin, but I think Typical's going to have the run through as he goes. Is he going to go and have an attack? No, he's surely not. He has. He's attacked Tex through all this, and he's got through. I think Justin's got damage up just behind in all this as well, and Tech clips the back end of Typical, but I don't think there's damage to his Sauber.
I don't think so. I was all a bit frantic. I think Tech was going far too quickly coming into turn 1, Gareth, and slammed on the brakes, and that caused a bit of mayhem behind him with Ogwin and Typical, and that's what all the fighting was in 4th, 5th and 6th. Typical, a fair play to him, flying around the outside coming through turn 3, and almost had enough speed to get by Silo there, as well as there's more chopping and changing to the front of the top 3. But they've stayed the top 3. Oh, a bit of a wiggle from Ailsin, Gareth, and that could be him pulling the pits. He doesn't fancy the mediums anymore, and he pulls in the pits, and he'll be onto the hard to the end of the race, it looks like.
Yeah, that was, I think, possible. I don't want to say tactical, but he knows he was going to get eaten up alive going down that straight, and he would have lost it. And either way, and Silo gets past Gabor, and Gabor now back into 2nd place as he's going to use the mediums now, like Silo was using Gabor and Alcin earlier on for their tyre life. Gabor is now doing exactly the same, just to keep a little bit of extra pace through all this. Nail now on a set of hards. XPG Flame is the fastest man on the circuit with his fresh set of hards. Agonize has been just overtaken by Flame as well. Agonize has got a long way to go on those mediums. That's going to be an interesting one if he can get it to the end of the Grand Prix. Alcin now is down in 11th place. He should, well, he's in clear air, so he should have a lot of, well, push now to the end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether this causes a domino effect with the medium runners. Whether, well, the only medium runner that was near him was Gabors, keep an eye on him. He's still looking pretty racy behind Silo. That is the case, and he's going to stay out. The problem with this, though, now, Gareth, Typical looking pretty racy behind him, and he might be in a bit of trouble here.
And he goes to the inside. He drifts to the inside as well. Typical trying to find a gap when there isn't a gap. And this is going to be interesting as they head through the first Verante. Typical's got so much better speed and grip through there, and he's going to have the outside line, and we've seen so many, and he's being pushed by Silo through this. Up the inside comes Gabor. He's not going to have the best braking ability going into turn 4, but he'll hold position. But my goodness me, this is exactly what TTM Alcin needs. He needs these guys to squabble so he can just build a little bit of a gap, because that's all he's going to do. He's going to have a 2-3 second gap at the end of this.
Absolutely, there's infighting between these top 5 drivers. This isn't going to help their cause, and Gabor being one of them, trying to hold on those mediums, and so much quicker down that back straight. Well, sorry, the middle straight we have here at Monza, onto the back straight now they go. 3/10 splitting first and second, with Typical, and Tech actually takes Typical out of nowhere. Didn't see that coming. Obviously a mistake by Typical coming into the exit of Ascari. Round they go, Parabolica. Does Gabor pull in now? It looks like he's pulling to the inside, and that will be a pit stop for him. Now, Gareth, keep an eye on Ailson.
Let's go on board with Ailson just as we see Tech take the lead of this Grand Prix. Let's see how he handles and goes into the Ascari chicane. Not the Ascari chicane, sorry, the Parabolica, curve of Parabolica. Where is he going to be in comparison to Gabor and Ogween, who's decided to come in really early?
Yeah, that's a very early stop for him, and Ailson flies on by Gareth with, well, that would be the 2.5 splitting himself and Gabor. So Ailson done a great job there.
Definitely, and it's only going to increase a little bit because of the cold tyres that they're on, and it's good for Alcin right now. He has got 2 laps life older tyres though, so come the end of the Grand Prix he could lose all that as well. But Shazoo Ogween is doing a very, very odd strategy, coming in very, very early for those mediums, but I think he just wants track position.
Could well be, yeah. I've got to get past Gabor, however. And there's contact there from Silo and Typical coming into the Parabolica there, Gareth, and to a point where one of them ghosted. I didn't see why that happened, but Silo back under DRS of the car ahead. But again, Typical's got DRS for Tech Brutal, so it's all happening. I think there could be a bit of ghosting, Gareth, as Silo's left the session, so I'm not sure what's going on with his car there, his internet, but still Tech leading the Grand Prix with Typical in second.
Not ideal for Silo, and FRT's chance of taking victory tonight is going... FRT Silo's... there's a Typical driver as well. This is confusing me. There's 2 FRT drivers there. One of them's in Team FRT and the other one isn't. The Mercedes team is actually FGE, and the FRT team is the Red Bull car. So, Typical is driving for FGE. So just be be warned, like I wasn't, because that's really threw me there a little bit. But Typical trying now with a chance to take victory.
He is, yeah. I mean, it'd be great for him to get up there, but he's got to get past Tech, and we've seen how good Tech has been this season, Gareth, and he's no easy customer to get by. But luckily for Typical, there's no one near him now, as he dives into the pits, Gareth. Early pits off for West, early on the hards, and through he goes.
Yeah, Gabor there then has been passed by Ogween. He's going to use the initial pace that Ogween's got to try catch back up with Alcin and maybe use this one to go. Ogween is the quickest man on the circuit. They have dispatched Silo. Silo's car, I think the AI has pitted him early. Whether he wanted that lap or not, we won't. Well, we'll never know. As I think that now means Typical is 2.8 seconds behind Gabble. Plenty to play for. Here comes Ogween around the outside of Alcin as they head through the Curva Grande. He's going to have the inside as they head into turns 4 and 5. And the move is done and dusted even before then.
Yeah, great move by Baldwin on those mediums. You'd expect it, Gareth. He's on quicker tyres, especially in these early parts of the second part of the race. He's going to be quick. You can see him on the exit, and the gap he's already formed ahead of Ailsin. So Ailsin needs to buy the time because he'll be able to get it back later on in the race, really, with 10.5 laps remaining of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, and not ideal to lose that much time. But Ogween has now been caught back up with Alcin. Tech then into the pits. Quantum decides to stay in, so will Justin stay out. Sorry, Justin will do the same. Willow has sped into the pit lane, and that's not ideal. 10 seconds to be added on for you at the end of this one. Here comes Alcin and Gabor are sniffing around the Shazoo driver as they head down the start-finish straight. Are they going to make a move through this? It up the inside. I think Alcin has got the move. Will Gabor do the same? He will not. Tech Brutal and Typical are going to be side by side as they head through into turn 1, and Typical backs out of the move, decides not to attack at this moment in time. Is his tyres going to be warmer and better as they head through Curva Grande? They are, but I don't think it's going to figure for anything at the moment.
No, I don't think so. He's biding his time. He's got to be careful though, because Silo's right in his gearbox. Yeah, I don't know whether he's back in the race. He's looking pretty quick, so I'm going to assume he is back in the race. Just enabled down his back straight. He could make a move here. Well, Typical's made small mistakes here, but again, he just got the RS open now. He should be okay. But the ball stuck behind Ogween here. Not that Ogween is slow by any stretch of the imagination, but those tyres are going to be going off sooner rather than later, so the ball needs to get by him while he still has a chance. As Quantum into the pit, as is Justin, and Ailsin will take the lead of this race back here at Monza.
See what Quantum and Justin can do. Justin surely is going to get a front wing change through all this as well. Is there a front wing? There is a front wing ready for him, which is not ideal. Quantum now exiting the pit lane. Let's see where he's going to come out. Ogween takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Here comes Quantum in 7th place, down to 8th now, into 9th. And AMS Knight gets past as well. But that's the only damage going to be done. Justin is a 14th place at the moment. Could be even further. Points for BRT are going to be short supply tonight.
Absolutely, and this is helping NVR, isn't it? They've got 3rd and 10th, ideal in with what's going on in this current race. But again, still 9.5 remaining, Gareth. Anything can happen, as we've seen in the past. A late safety car could change everything in this race.
Yeah, can that second... also, with that, can that second train of Typical, Tech and FRT catch back up with Ogween, Alcin and Gabble? It looks like Ogween is actually more helping Alcin and Gabble, probably with giving one of those to the race win. Ogween's going to be... Well, his tyres are going to be absolutely murdered at the end of this Grand Prix. But he could just... Once his tyres go... He will just sit in this train with Alcin and Gabor, and the rest are going to struggle catching back up.
Yep, that could be his strategy. He loses 1st place to Ailsin, unsurprisingly, with the DRS, and Gabor doesn't risk the move into turn 1, so they hop over the curbs for the 19th time. But yeah, as long as he stays within this window, Gareth, he's got every right and every chance at getting a podium in this race. Playing it wise, trying to do his best for Shazoo, and unfortunately his teammate down all the way down to 15th, so not ideal for Shazoo. I thought this could be their race, but mistakes early on from Elite has cost them. But Ailsin holding the lead for now, and like I said, it'd be interesting to see whether Tech can close this gap down. 2.3, so keep an eye on that one.
What a move from Quantum. It was a bit hairy between the tree AMS Knight, and then Quantum decides that this is his time and gets a very, very good move. A double move out of all that as well. Fair play to him. Back to the leaders through all this. It's 2.3 seconds to Tech behind. He's using his pace a little bit now to catch back up. It was 2.9 at the beginning of this lap. So Alcin obviously slower on those hard compound of tyres at this phase in the Grand Prix. They really do need Ogwin to get back into the lead and use his tyres a little bit more. It's 2.2 seconds as they come on down. Here comes Gabble, though, having a look at Shazoo Ogwin as they come down the start and finish straight for the 20th time to the inside line. There's a yellow flag, and that is a full course safety car, which is going to help Ogwin's tyres get towards the end of the Grand Prix, but it's not going to help Alcin or Gabble. Shazoo Ogwin is the leader of this race at this point in time.
Yeah, that's well, unfortunately, with another time in exactly the same place that we lost Blunty. Ollie making a mistake at the exit of Ascari, and that's him out this Grand Prix board with no. I thought it was to see, but it's sorry, Gareth. I'm just perplexed. VK is on a set of intermediate tyres. I assume that's a mistake, and he's pressed the button a few too many times, and that's not going to help his chances at all. I mean, both him and his team aren't in the best positions in the race, but not ideal. But just looking at just before I go back to you guys, TTM Ailson, his teammate Nail, he's on the soft tyres now, but a 10-second penalty for speed in the pit lane is not going to help TTM's chances in the standings either. So some work to do for that team. But this is all it's all been messed now, guys. It's all up in the air all over again.
I've got a feeling that he's just pressed the button a bit too many times. Gabble's decided to stay out. Interesting. Drivers flying into the pits, wanting fresh rubber. Tech and Gabble and Quantum deciding, no thank you, I am going to do it my way. Soft tyres for some of these drivers. Track position, it's weird to say at Monza, sometimes can be everything.
Gareth, look at the standings at the moment behind the safety car. NVR, BRT, NVR, BRT. What a race we have on our hands.
Wow. Time really, it's like nothing has changed in this season, but everything, well, what is it they say in Assassin's Creed? Nothing is, I don't know. Everything is whatever. One of these days I'll get one of my quotes correct. Ogwin is in 5th place. Gabble is on. This could go horrendously wrong for BRT and NVR, or this could be one of the plays of the season.
It could well be, and of all teams, it's the two chasing teams in Shazoo and TTM are in 5th and 6th as well, isn't it? It's funny how it's all played out. Unfortunately, for those two teams, their teammates are down in 12th and 17th, so they unfortunately can't see them being very helpful in the last couple of laps. But it's really going to come down to it, isn't it? Those tyres for both the hards and the mediums will go off roughly the same time with how many laps they've done respectively, and then everyone on fresh sets. You've got 6 drivers on soft tyres directly behind the top 4 in Ogwin, Ailsin, Silo, Typical, Knight and Treat. And Silo, Typical, Ailsin and Ogwin have all been involved in the fight at the front in this Grand Prix. Knight and Treat trying to get involved as well in all this. And FGE could have a good haul of points as well if they can make their way through this evening with both their drivers on soft tyres, Gareth. This is all going to kick off when the safety car comes in. I bet it's all gonna be a bit crazy, I think, on the restart. But we'll see how they all negotiate it once hopefully we get going at the end of lap 22 here.
Let us know in the chat who you think is going to take victory tonight. Is it going to be one of the top 4, which will be NVR or BRT? Quantum and Justin have done a fantastic job getting themselves back up there, but are they going to be the roadblocks for the drivers behind to allow Tech and NVR Gabble to go through and do something a little bit different, or have both the teams made an absolute dastardly mistake? I don't know what you want to call it, but Yeah, this is something that neither BRT or NVR have had this race. Is their drivers close enough to be considered as the back? They're still going to get points in this race, almost certain, unless something major happens when the safety car comes in. But they're going to have that same problem going into turn one, like we, said at the start of the race. Turn one is going to be a little bit problematic for some of these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, cold tyres as well, Gareth. You can only heat your tyres up so much behind the safety car. Big lockup of one of the drivers there in the top 4. Tip car is going to stay up for one more lap. It looks like, yes, it will. I think we're just waiting on Liam Hardman to catch up with the back of the train here. But the top 4 are going to be in trouble going to turn 1, I can imagine. No DRS on the opening lap, obviously, but those fresh soft tyres are going to be so rapid with 4 racing laps here at Monza. It's gonna be wild. It's so difficult to predict how it's going to go, really. And we've got more pit stops from some of the drivers still. VK and nailing the pits once again here at Monza. Not sure what's happened there. Maybe some damage on those cars, but it'll be interesting to see how Gabor controls this now. He can see how quick the cars behind him are. Even the 3 cars behind him on medium tyres are going to be quick, let alone all the guys on the soft. So it's going to be if Gabor somehow holds the race win here, guys, it'll be a stroke of genius, a real masterclass in defending and holding your own against a large adversity in the rest of the grid.
It feels very much a little bit David and Goliath-esque right now. It is crazy situation to be in. Gabor is going to have to get the perfect getaway. The safety car is in this lap. We are going to have 4 laps worth of racing to the end of this Grand Prix. The softs have had barely any wear or use put into them at all. Alguin, Alcin and Silo are going to be absolutely rapid, as is typical. Knight's got himself into 9th position. Justin and Quantum have their work cut out. Justin, don't forget, had front wing end plate damage, and he's now back up into 4th place after starting in 14th. He's had a great race, a great recovery. Let us know in the chat. We've got someone saying Blunty. I'm not sure if Blunty's going to be able to revive his car and catch everyone by 17 laps or whatever that he has done. But when does Gabor decide to put the foot down? He's gone. He's left. He has not left Tech lost at all. Tech is heading down all the way to the inside, the outside, into turn 1. Gabor has gone defensive into turn 1. Nothing happening at the moment, and Quantum trying to sneak around the outside. There's a little bit of contact between Justin and Quantum. Quantum's being tagged, Justin's being tagged because of it, because his car was unsettled with his tag with Quantum, and that is not ideal. But Gabor still leads the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think it was Ogwin who tapped the back of Justin there, Gareth, and unfortunately, Justin on the 7th place. Now, not too far behind, but for BRT's chances, that's going to be crucial with him now in the mix of all those soft run tyres there in that lower top 10. And again, a mistake by Quantum, and that's all we're flying around the outside, coming down to Ascari, and that could be the move done without even the DRS being used.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Ogween now into 3rd place. He's got a medium runner between him and the rest of the soft runners. And here, Elite Risks picks up a 3-second time penalty. Down into the Parabolica they go, and somehow Gabor still leads this Grand Prix. He's doing a fantastic job, but no DRS has been activated just yet as they come across the line. Starting lap 25, and now DRS has been activated, and Tech is getting ever closer to the back of Gabor, but so is Ogween on the back of him, and so is Quantum back onto the back of him, and it's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Surely not. There's a Red Bull on the grass in the background. Tech is fighting tooth and nail to hold on to the position, but the grip is just so much superior for Ogween, and Ogween up into 2nd place on those soft compounder tyres. He's going to have he's got a gaggle of cars for company behind him as BRT and the Quantum and the BRT drivers fighting away, but Gabor still leads this Grand Prix.
Yeah, he's got 2.5 laps to hold the lead, Gareth. Whether he does it or not, I'm not sure. As Silo gets past Ailson and Justin, Ailson's dropping down like a stone there, losing 2 or 3 places in a matter of corners. Not sure what happened to him there, but Ogwyn looking so racy on those fresh soft tyres as to be expected. But Gabor's got half a second, Gareth. He's doing everything right here.
I don't know if this is so much Ogween's design or whether Gabor doing a really good job, because I don't think Ogween wants to lead at this lap. He wants to do the overtaking on the next lap, but I don't think he's going to have much of a choice as he heads down onto start lap 26 of 27 here in Monza. The mystery round of competitive speed series is a go. Up the inside goes Ogween on Gabor, and Tech try to follow suit as well, but I don't think Gabor's going to let that lie. Here they go, and it's Justin around at turn 2 again, and Gabor still in second place. MVR have some big points to their names at this present moment in time.
Absolutely, and obviously BRT Justin making another mistake at turn 2. And maybe contact is not helping BRT's chances whatsoever as they come through turn 4 and 5. Some of them side by side action in the background between Typical and Patrick there, but back towards the front. Sorry, Partek. As more cars make a mistake, Willow make a mistake, losing a few places as well. A lap and a half to go. Ogwyn in the lead of this Grand Prix now, Gareth. Gabor's going to have a perfect last sector here to have any chance. And he's made a mistake coming through Ascari there, and that could be Tech getting past him before they even get to Parabolica. Could this be enough for Ogwyn to hold the lead?
It could very well be. He's going to deploy everything he can now. They throw themselves into Parabolica for the 26th and penultimate time. They're heading on to the final lap here in Monza. Ogwyn leads the way as they head on down the start-finish straight. Tech, I don't think he's got the right speed. Here comes Gabor. He's gone to the outside line, and Ogwyn is going to fight it up the inside, and so is Tech up the inside of turn 2. Ogwyn's going to have the sheer pace advantage out of that because of the tyres, and he's stuck for it. What can Ogwyn do as they head through the Curva Grande for the final time? There's yellow flags galore, 3 seconds for Elite, and Gabor is still leading this Grand Prix.
Somehow still holding the Grand Prix, had the car in the right place, had to brake earlier than Ogwyn. You could see the difference in tyre life. It was under the braking coming into turn 1, and Tech just didn't have the grip on the exit of turn 2 there. But this could be where Ogwyn takes the lead of this Grand Prix car down the hill towards Ascari. Gabor's going to have to defend. Ogwyn's going to have to go around the outside into the braking zone they come. Through Ascari, but no, he's not close enough. He's on the back of the gearbox here. Through they go, both making it through. But Gabor gets a better exit, Gareth. Could this be it?
Our time will tell. This last straight, Ogwyn goes to the outside. Surely not. Quantum going on Tech as well. And this could be crucial for MVR. There's a little bit of wheel banging between the two of them. Ogwyn, I think, is going to get a little bit of help from Gabor. Sorry, not Gabor. Quantum is, but there we go. That is race victory for Ogwyn. You called it. There could be some stewards' inquiries through that as well. But my goodness me, what an end to the Grand Prix.
Wow, yeah. I thought Ogwyn may have obviously he had to make the overtake earlier on, and then had to try and get it anywhere he could on that last lap. Wasn't close enough for sector 1, wasn't close enough in sector 2. And had to make it coming into the very final corner of the Grand Prix. What a race that was, Gareth. Non-stop. Right at the end, of course, with that safety car causing a bit more frantic action than we expected at the end. But yeah, Ogwyn taking the win and finally get a prediction correct in this game.
Whew. Well, now I don't say now that's over and done with. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to line that one up. The intermediate tyres definitely weren't a tyre to be used. I'm not sure why they were ever thought of, to be perfectly honest. But we'll have to wait and see how the mystery race goes. But it is Ogwyn currently taking victory. Gabor in second, Tech in third, fourth to Quantum, Silo in fifth, sixth to Alcyon, seventh to Knight, eighth to Treat, sorry, ninth to Justin, Partek in 10th. Then we've got Typical, Agonize, Gale, VK, and Liam Hardman rounding up the point scoring with Willow, Elite, and XPG, no points scored. And Ollie and Blunty retiring from the race. Unlucky Ollie for not finishing that race, mate. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard. It happens to the best of us.
So yeah, that is the Italian Mystery Grand Prix over and done with, and a very interesting one, to say the least. Plenty of incidents to go around. But before the safety car, obviously we were robbed of a freeway battle for the lead, for the win, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. Some great racing. Ailson, we were kicking himself. Obviously, not being able to. That safety car didn't help him. He dropped him down a little bit from where he wanted to be, and yeah, it was a bit frustrating in that sense. But so frantic at the end, it provided an equally good race for us to watch at the end.
Let's see, drivers chat just for a second to see if anyone will come and have a chat with us tonight. I don't know if that is going to be a thing tonight. There is a little bit of few questions, I guess. A few hot-headed people, I guess, is possibly the best way to describe that one. It's not ideal. But yeah, a few issues and drivers that unfortunately had bad days, Nail being one of them. He just plummeted after lap 3.
Yeah. Sometimes the way it goes, Gareth. Races don't always go your way, and especially a circuit like Monza, where it's you get stuck in a train and everyone goes flying on by, unfortunately, and that's the way it went this evening. But 2 races to go, still time to improve and show he's what he's made of.
With how things stand, it definitely gives MVR a rather large points. Well, I don't want to say large point gap. It's 26. I think 26 points over BRT with this one. It's, I think, the first time MVR have really taken a bit of commanding in this championship, which is good for MVR. 2 rounds remaining, 26 points is pretty much nothing when you've got points going from 1st to 15th, but it's still a good position to be with 2 rounds remaining.
Well, it'll be the first time, Gareth, that they're leading the championship, I think, or in a significant way. So for the first time, they'll be chasing. They'll be hunted, not the hunt. No, they'll be
the hunted.
Not hunting. Yeah. They'll be hunted. So they've got that to consider now. They'll be the ones with the targets on their backs. So they got to think about these things now. But both Quantum and Gabor again showing us why we're now leading the championship. They've been fantastic the last couple of races, and their consistency is really paying off now.
It definitely has, and even with that win technically to Shizou, there's still I think it's going to be something like 80 something points. My maths on the spot is possibly not that great. Maybe 81 points behind. It's either 81 or 85. I can't think straight, but it's 80 plus points behind MVR. While it's still mathematically possible for them to win, they really needed Elite to do better than he did today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Elite obviously not performing. I think he may have been at the back of the grid at the end of the race, and no points for him. And that's Shazoo's challenge could be done and out there. Obviously, Ogween taking the win, but there could be a couple of penalties coming his way in after the race. So Shazoo could be race over with, season over, Gareth, as well as CTM in this season of CSS.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring TTM up as well. The Pride has probably taken a little bit of a battering, reigning champions, and now, gone, done. They're only fighting now for Pride to stay. Well, maybe get into the top 5. Not top 5, top 3. Sorry, they're 4th currently. They're going to be 16, 17 points behind Shazoo. If the penalties, it'll change that. They might get back into the. But they've got a big battle on their hand with Shazoo because Ogween is a very, very quick driver. He's shown that by winning races and being just generally a nuisance a thorn in TTM's side through the season, and not only them, but also the other drivers as well, the other teams, costing some victories to other teams because he's been so quick.
Yeah, and yeah, it's the way some of these races have played out, haven't they? Not gone their way, and others have. So I'm just trying to figure out the standings, like Gareth, whether there's any way back for either TTM or Shazoo, or whether they just hold it in for. Yeah, I don't say give up is the wrong way, but with only 2 races to go, and it's an interesting one. Yeah, it really is going down to the last 2 races, and do a real, real explosion for either NVR or BRT for anyone else to take the lead of the championship, finishing in Japan in 2 weeks' time.
Definitely. It's what I think you can describe as racing for pride now for those 2 teams.
Yep.
And just to make sure they stay in front of FRT as well. FRT with Silo, they've obviously got a good team anyway for being up in around that position. But Silo could have won today, and if he wins next week, he's got a real chance of maybe costing TTM and Shazoo maybe that top 4 or top 3 position for that team. And there's prizes for not just for winning. There's prizes throughout. So it's the top 5 teams really have to fight for their positions.
Yeah, they do. This season isn't over with by any stretch of the imagination, Gareth. There's this. It's you could argue play so playing for pride here, but you don't want to make a mistake because again, there are moves to be made in the championship. I appreciate for example XPG and TAE. They're at the bottom, but they're so close to each other. They don't want the wooden spoon in the championship, so they'll still be fighting to try and hold their own there, as well as FG and Alien. They all want to be at the top, but if they can improve one place from where they are, that's that's one better than where they could have been. So it's still worth pushing to the very end of the season.
Definitely. That is, I guess, there is no one coming to go into the waiting room for us. So that's our race over and done with. We won't have a look at the standings. We will, however, have a look at the calendar for the remaining 2 rounds, and that is at the Hungaroring next Monday. Obviously, Friday and Sunday night for the PlayStation and PC side of things as well. And then the 1st, 3rd, and 4th of November, we see the Japanese Grand Prix come to competitive speed series. And, well, 2 rounds remaining and everything still to play for, but it is between 2 teams. Those 2 teams are BRT and current leaders in the championship, which is Novus Racing Team. And anything really is to be played for. Ollie, any final words from you?
Again, another phenomenal race here in CSS. Keep it going, guys. It's great to watch, and the season isn't wrapped up just yet, guys. So those who are watching, keep tuned in. It could all change at the Hungaroring next week, so stay tuned for that one. And then obviously round off in Japan, which will be an epic way to finish season 4.
Yeah, reminiscent of the old days, the Suzuka being the final round. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed, and don't forget to, return on Friday night for the Hungaroring on the PlayStation side of things, and then the PC side of things, and the PlayStation side of things on Sunday night, and then return with Ollie and I for the Xbox side of things, just to finish things off. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.